Carbohydrates, the great, the terrible, the good, the bad. Carbohydrates give us energy. That's the great news. On the other hand, we could, if we didn't have carbohydrates, we could get all our energy needs from proteins and fats, but carbohydrates are more readily available and cheaper, but it's great to have a balanced diet of your carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. So what are carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are basically sugars. There's simple sugars and complex sugars. The simplest types of sugars, like fructose and glucose, etc., are digested really quickly, and they go into the bloodstream really quickly, and insulin tells the cells to start using that blood sugar. Well, when there's too much, the insulin tells the liver to store it until it's used later. And you want to slow the digestive process down so that you're not spiking your blood sugar so quickly. Now, although an apple has simple sugars in it, it also contains fiber. So fiber in an apple will slow your digestion down. But you take that same apple, make apple juice out of it, the fiber is gone, and then it spikes your blood sugar quickly. So you may be getting the vitamins from the apple, but you're losing the fiber, and it's kind of in the range of the same sugars you might be getting from some soda pops. Now, let's take an apple. When can you eat an apple compared to, say, a steak? And you may not know this, but let me ask you a question. You know your stomach contains stomach acid, right? Hydrochloric acid. When does your stomach contain acid? Does it contain acid all the time? No, it doesn't. When you wake up in the morning and you haven't eaten a meal in several hours, your stomach is empty. Your intestines might still be digesting things, but your stomach is completely empty. Now you eat an apple, there's no protein in an apple, no fats. It's very simple, so it does not have to be digested in the stomach. It goes right through within about 16 minutes, passes into the duodenum or duodenum, depending on how your biology teacher pronounced it, and then it goes into the intestines where it's broken down and absorbed. Anyway, if you eat a steak, the steak is very complex. It needs the stomach acid to, plus other enzymes and other stuff, to digest it. Well, if you eat the apple first and then the steak, there's not much problem. When you get the steak in your body, your stomach starts building up mucus to protect it from the stomach acids and putting the enzymes and all that stuff. Well, you eat the steak and then you eat the apple. Well, the stomach doesn't know what to do about that because the apple will just sit there and ferment until the digestive process of the protein is done, and that can putrefy things and make your digestive system go out of whack a little bit. Or the other thing it might do is send the protein parts of the steak down undigested, so it gets poorly digested. So when you eat things is also important is what you eat. Now, there's complex carbohydrates and simple carbohydrates, and the simple carbohydrates generally are considered to be bad for you because they spike your sugar, your blood sugar levels. And those include pasta, breads, and I'm talking about especially white breads, white rice, simple grains. The more complex the grains, the more whole food the things are, the better they are for you. And vegetables are your best carbohydrates of all. Now, because they're digested slowly, sometimes there's proteins in your vegetables too that naturally occur, naturally occurring amino acids, which are your building blocks of protein, plus your sugars. And because there's so much fiber in them, they digest slowly. Now, plant fiber cannot be digested by humans, but Our gut is supposed to have lots of bacteria that's beneficial, that breaks that stuff down into things that we can use. Another thing about timing with carbohydrates is, as we get older, like me, we produce less and less growth hormone. Human growth hormone is manufactured at night. Well, insulin interferes with growth hormone production, so if you eat a snack in the evening, meaning a sweet snack, you're not going to produce any growth hormone that night. The biggest problem in our country, the United States, is simple sugars in the form of candy, cake, pastas, white breads, etc. All too common. People eat too much of it, and it's why 32% of our children are obese. Adult obesity is out of the wall, and it's not just for being overweight. It's the heart, the lungs, the lack of exercise, osteoporosis, all kinds of health problems. This country is plagued with people eating poor nutrition, having poor diets. The food industry is touting candy and cookies and cereals of 8 grams of sugar equals 1 teaspoon of sugar. Look at how much grams there are in your cereal, for example. It's like eating candy for breakfast, and that's touted as nutrition, when most cereals have very little fiber, very little protein, and lots of sugar, and sometimes trans fat. And look at the ingredients of everything you buy. It's better that you do not buy processed foods if you can help it. Buy whole foods, whole vegetables, and did you know that the foods, the vegetables, have within them the enzymes that will help digest them? If you overcook them, that makes your digestive system work all the harder, because your digestive enzymes that are naturally in those foods are gone. Anyway, digestion is very complex, and this is just a quick nutshell on carbohydrates. Look in the description for more information on different things.